Okay, so only one game tonight, and it is once again a Knicks close win where the place is going crazy, and Jalen Brunson cannot miss a shot in the fourth quarter, and they're grabbing offensive rebounds. And my takeaway from it is, after seeing it this many times, I love this Knicks team, man. And this is not me burying the Pacers, because I think they still have a good chance of making this series still really interesting, but the way this Knicks team finds a way. So once again in the fourth quarter, we had another edition of the Pacers being like, well, we could double Brunson. They tried one time. They did the double super high up with Nembhard and Turner, and then it becomes Nesmith having to help, and then it's DiVincenzo getting a really, really open three. Another time where two go to him off of Josh Hart screening for him, and then it's a swing to Dante, who then takes it baseline, and then it's a little flip to Precious, or it could have been Ihart for a foul. Like, that is the fear. I mean, if you're having Brunson beating Nembhard in these one-on-ones, it's turnarounds, it's step backs or just tough shots over him. One time where he finished with his right hand where it was like a different sort of gather step than Brunson usually goes with, and he's finishing with the other hand on him. I mean, if Nembhard can't handle him in one-on-ones, and then you're bringing doubles, and they're also making you pay on those, whether it's them crashing the glass, which of course, like, that's always going to be a baked-in fear with this Knicks team, especially in the fourth when they start to really ramp it up on those, or it's, they're making plays off of those, then what the hell do you do at that point? I mean, I didn't even mention the one where, similar thing. It was like Josh Hart middle of the floor. It's possible I'm getting like two different plays mixed up, but the results are definitely there. Off of Brunson attention becomes a Dante, kind of deep three where Ihart did set a really good, just like middle of the play screen for Nesmith. That wasn't by design, but he just read the situation. It's a really tough spot to be in if you're Indiana. Like, what is the option on Brunson? I don't know if there is one, because this dude is so unconscious at this point. It's unbelievable. And there was real fear for a minute there that he was going to be out with the foot. Anyway, to try to tell the story of the whole game. So I did think, like, in the second quarter, TJ McConnell and Obi Toppin really shifted the game, where you did see TJ pushing off of makes a few times, and it's him, like, getting a really quick screen from Obi, like on an empty side action where he's getting downhill, or Obi was able to get, if not a pick and pop three, then a TJ goes baseline, hits somebody else drives, and eventually it becomes an Obi three, something like that. Or Ben Shepherd getting a corner three off of the Pacers pushing, or Siakam getting really, really good post position where that was Turner getting the rebound, finding Hallie on the move, and then it's right to Siakam in front of the rim. Like, you were getting more of the signature Pacers game feel in this one. And then you also had Hallie just being more aggressive, right? I mean, he had that, like, step back over Achua, which I think that was, like, his first points of the fourth. But early on, I mean, he was more aggressive and, like, right off of a make, just Siakam set me a quick screen, I'm going to go right at DiVincenzo, try to draw a foul. Or a couple plays where he just kind of got open out of nowhere. So, yeah, like, and then going into the third with Brunson's out, we're like, okay, well, this is looking like it's going to be a Pacers win. And then the Knicks without Brunson, man, some of the plays they made. I mean, for one, I did think OG, and we're going to have to see with him with the hamstring, because, of course, he did not play at the tail end of this game. But, I thought he was able to affect some of the Halliburton, Siakam empty side actions that did seem like they were having success in the first half, switching it or just, like, applying some pressure on Halliburton. Of course, he had the amazing block on Nesmith as he was driving, and on that play, I remember Hartenstein switched onto Hallie, and he did a pretty good job holding up. I mean, that's not like a shock. Hartenstein's been a good defensive player all year. And I felt like Hallie might have had the layup on the drive, but he kicks out, and the Knicks do a great job, whether it was Hart and DiVincenzo, I think especially. Deuce might have been in there, but he probably was, because this was with Brunson out of the game. I'd have to go look at it again, but they do a good job of rotating over. Nesmith hesitates for a little bit, and then he eventually drives, and then it's OG meeting him at the rim. He gets the block. DiVincenzo had a great play where he was applying pressure on Hallie to prevent him using the Siakam screen at the top of the key. And eventually Hallie, like, he gets a little bit of an angle on DiVincenzo, and he tries to throw it back over to Siakam, who I guess the idea there would be then he could just go to face up or post up, whatever, have the middle of the floor to himself. DiVincenzo swats that away, it's a turnover. I'm not trying to blame Halliburton for the loss or anything. Like, he did his thing. I mean, I appreciated his super deep floater in the fourth quarter there, when basically, like, 3 or 4 Knicks were in the paint is what it felt like. You had a number of plays. This was a little earlier in the game where it felt like Halliburton just kind of found himself open off ball for some threes, and I'm like, how did that happen, Knicks? I mean, I'm talking about OG, his defensive plays, and we'll see with the hamstring, but also, I mean, his 20-something points in this one. And the one I remember the most was them running a DHO for him out of the corner, where he was able to get just enough separation off of Siakam. He was able to finish. I mean, he had a tough three with Siakam having like a pretty good closeout on him in the corner. It felt like he was also the recipient of at least one of those assists that Ihart had, where he was at the top of the key or on the elbow, and then somebody was cutting off of that. So anyway, eventually the Knicks kind of get it back under control in their favor, and then TJ comes back in and he's like crossing over Deuce, or he's cutting off of like Ben Shepherd driving, and then he's getting like a free throw line jumper. Like, TJ McConnell was great for Indiana in this one. But this Knicks team, man, through Jalen Brunson shot making, offensive rebounds, making plays defensively, Dante hitting a couple of crazy threes. Like, they just keep doing this time and time again. And it does feel like, I mean, I'm just repeating myself now, but it does feel like the Pacers are in kind of between a rock and a hard place with what they do defensively on Brunson, because the single coverage with Nembhard ain't working. They tried doubling him. They were able to make plays out of that. And so it's like, okay, well, maybe you change the timing of the doubles to where maybe you're not getting torched from three, or you're not giving up drives, or you're not giving up offensive rebounds. Perhaps you're trying somebody besides Nembhard, whether it's Nesmith. I mean, TJ is certainly playing as hard as he can when he's guarding Brunson. And of course, Nembhard is doing his best as well. It's just, I don't know, you got to find something, anything that could potentially work against Brunson right now, because this dude is just going crazy. As far as the Pacers offense down the stretch, other than like, Dante playing really, really good on Hallie, there were two plays that I remember the most for when they did not get a bucket. One of them was that Miles Turner deep three, potentially even a step back three attempt over Hartenstein, where I don't know what that was, because, I mean, maybe I'm dead wrong. I'm pretty sure they still had time left in the shot clock. The initial action was slowed down because Hartenstein and Precious were on the court together at the end there, because who the hell, Tibbs doesn't have a lot of bodies to go to right now. Precious just switched on the initial Halliburton screen. And then another one was a Siakam turnaround two over Precious, I believe, that did not go in, and it was very early in a possession. And like, that's a shot I've seen, I've seen Siakam make many times, so it's not like it was a horrible shot, but I don't know. They looked a little rattled in that fourth quarter. So yeah, we go to Indiana for a game 3.